No, it's not even.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let's call the City of Oak Hill Charter Review Committee meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Here.
Barry Cummings,
Here.
Charlie,
Here.
Joanne Welch,
Here.
Carrie Warden,
Here?
Tom Pitts, Rob Angel, and those others are absent. They provided prior notice.
Okay. What about Ron? Where's Ron?
He said wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He said I'll do it. Yeah.
Okay. I need to turn the hearing aid up. First I gotta get one.
At this point, we don't have any consent agenda. So, we were supposed to have a presentation from Tracy Barlow, which was former city manager at Edgewater. He called me about 1:30 today to let me know that his wife needed to be taken to the hospital, so he was taking her to the hospital to have her checked out and have whatever test ran. He didn't know if it would be just an in and out kind of thing or what, but.
Well, we are so sorry to hear that. We hope she's okay.
Yeah,
Absolutely, I told him to do what he has to do. and
Absolutely.
Reach out to us if there's anything we can do for him. So, he asked if we could reschedule another time or day that would work for us, and I have to leave that to you guys.
Next week.
I can ask him if he can do next Wednesday.
whatever.
We want to do that, or
I mean-
or are we at a point where we need to start thinking about getting what we've gotten done out there and voted on and questioned and
Yeah.
I mean,
Well-
that's my question is, do we need to? We're in the middle of April.
Well, one thing that was on the agenda was the
map.
wasn't on that agenda, but we talked about the city boundary map.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That
here.
was a priority. Yes, okay, under D, review map. was it? Okay, so we're moved on to D then. Review map of city.
And this it says at the bottom, this came from the property appraiser's office, Jerome?
Yes, reached out to them and to the county, and this is what we got so far. The county GIS department is working on getting something probably a bit more detailed for us, but I haven't received that yet.
Okay.
Nice.
Did they give you any indication of how long it might be?
It should
You
be
know?
this week. They sent a sample of something, but
Okay.
it's just doing a little more tweaking.
So we're talking weeks, not months.
Right.
Maybe
Well,
days.
that's even better.
And at that point, that will be considered our appendix A.
That was my next question. Can we maybe send this? I know we all hate to send it to Scott to review, but could this maybe be sent to Scott in light of the fact that we don't have the long things with all the things on it and say, will this?
Yeah, we can
So
do that.
satisfy it?
I believe it's either or. Either you have the meets and bounds or you have an actual graphical depiction of what you
Right.
see.
Right.
Yes, we can send it to him too.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a matter of him looking at it and saying yes or no, and then that would finalize that whole section and we'd be ready to go.
Do we want to do that, or do we want to wait until Jerome manages to get the more detailed map from the mapping
Well,
department?
once he gets a more detailed, I think that's what he was gonna do, send that. more
Send that
detailed-
one, not
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, not this.
Okay,
The more detail that he feels is going to be sufficient, and
Yeah.
then once.
well, that would make sense.
Yes. Okay, very good. That was an accomplishment, I'll tell you what.
Yes. I'm very happy.
All right, now, I don't think there's no need to set the agenda yet for next week, because we could probably, since we don't have Tracy Barlow here to discuss things about the city manager's position, is there anything that we want to discuss and go back into the charter under that section and review?
All of the changes that we did last week that we voted on, we're done. And thank you, Jerome, for reviewing that. We did find a few things that I had missed, found something I had deleted. For the record, that document was the Word document was in such bad shape that at one point in time, if you deleted a period, the whole thing went down the side and then over, and you couldn't read anything. So I reformatted the entire document. But it is reformatted so that anyone can make changes now, so that it's easy to read. And Jerome was kind enough to review. He found one thing that I had accidentally deleted along the line, but all of the changes that were requested and decided at the last meeting are made, and they are saved, and the final copy of the final preliminary draft of that, as it stands, has been sent to Jerome.
Okay.
Is it possible to get a copy of that? Finalized,
Yeah,
preliminary?
What I finished,
Yeah, when will we
do
get
you
a
want me
copy?
to go ask Tasha? Does Tasha have access to that to make copies?
Oh, you want it now? Okay. Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, it would be nice to have it.
Yeah,
Well,
Okay.
thank
Well,
you.
shouldn't we talk about it when everybody else is here? I mean, we can take it and review it, but shouldn't everybody
So
else
then
be
just
here
adjourn
too?
until next week?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should wait until everybody's here. Because everybody had input, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can only hope that we have a better
turn out next week?
turnout next week,
Yeah,
Right.
because it just pushes our weeks further and further
Further
into
and
Right.
completing this
further, yeah.
process.
well,
And,
we just.
That's why maybe what we wanna-
Maybe we need to reach out and tell them we need, we're gonna go over and tell them how imperative it is to be here.
Well, here's a suggestion. If we can get a copy of it, maybe send a copy of it to those who are missing at today's meeting
And get their input.
and have them review it. And then maybe next week have, if we've got to sit down with Scott Simpson, have Scott here. And in the meantime, everybody's had an opportunity to review it. And
That was gonna be one of my questions. I can send it to all the members of the committee, and I can send it to Scott. Would you want Scott to be at the next meeting, or, either in person or virtually?
I would say
Do
in
y'all wanna
person or
discuss
virtual.
it first, and then we can get Scott?
This is my opinion. We talked about having a Tracy here. Okay, I would like to hear more about the city manager versus the
City administrator.
I'd rather hear a little bit more from a manager. We know our city administrator, his thing, but if we're gonna have Tracy Barlow come in, I don't think we wanna pay Scott to be sitting here
Right.
No.
while we're paying, while we have somebody present. So to me, because Tracy, I don't think, and I don't know this, but I don't think it'd probably be more than 30 minutes, 45 minutes probably the most
It shouldn't take that long to.
for him to go over the things, just us to ask some questions.
Right.
And then we could dive into that next week
Dive into the changes.
and the changes.
Changes
And then
there.
have Scott
next
here,
week,
have Scott.
and then
have
have
Scott
Scott
here
come.
because I will, and
That
not
sounds like a
that
good
one-
plan.
One horse don't stop no show, but I know probably gonna be right now, either the second, third week or the third, fourth week of May, I'm gonna be out of pocket.
Well, we need to take care of this before you leave.
Well, I said, I don't know, you don't take care before I leave,
No,
but I'm just saying, I'm gonna be gone.
We need to get the meat and potatoes before everybody starts.
Right, because I told everybody that I was gonna be
Oh,
gone.
You did.
that's your graduation
Yeah.
babies.
And I got a graduation on the fourth Wednesday of that month, so I won't be here on the 22nd either.
Let's try and,
That's
can I
so-
make a suggestion?
Yes.
Can we try, and this is, hitting home for Jerome. Can we try and reach out to the members and see if they can be here? Because we need to have everybody here, I think, to go over. And they need to hear what Mr. Tracy has to say. If we go,
If they can't make it,
if they can't make it, we can't keep putting,
We can't keep
and
putting
I
off.
understand that. Let's give them a chance to try to be here.
absolutely.
Because, I mean, I'm busting my tail to be here. I just wore myself out.
You
trying
look like
to be
it,
here
too.
2:30.
You look like it, too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You've been rode hard to put up with.
No, I ain't that bad now. Wait a minute now.
So I
But
would,
I bust my tail to try to be here at 2:30. You know, I that's why I asked for 3 o'clock, because I could hump a little bit and be here 3 o'clock and go home and take a shower. But I couldn't do it today. That's why I'm over here. I'm glad I'm over here, because I might
I am too.
smell a little tart. You know, but I humped today. But I'm just saying, give them the opportunity to be here next week. Let them know how imperative it is for them to be here. And if they just can't be here, then we'll move on.
then we gotta go. I
And
mean, we
we'll-
gotta
and
move
we'll-
on. We can't keep,
We can't keep hee-hawing.
we can't.
No.
And we understand, there's reasons you can't make
Yeah.
things happen, but
At this
But
point
if-
now, we need to go ahead and just get something.
we've made a commitment to do this and see it through
And if Tracy can't be here, is there somebody
Tracy-
else who could?
well, if he
No,
can't
I'm
be
just
here-
saying, if he's not available, there's gotta be other city managers out
Well, we
there.
can ask
Well-
Mr. Parker. He's a retired city manager.
Yeah,
You know, we could ask him to come in, and he'd come in too if we had to. You
yeah.
know, if Tracy can't make it, we can always reach out to Mr. Parker and ask him and get him
to explain
come
the
and
two
talk with
differences.
us.
I mean,
But
I
he
think,
can give us,
It's not that,
Basically,
it's not
differences.
that big of a deal, because
No.
he's
Yeah, and he
just gonna-
doesn't charge us to come
He's just
down.
gonna tell us the deal, and we're gonna ask some questions, and he gonna tell us bye.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
like you said, it might not be 30 minutes.
you know, my biggest thing, and
And it
I'll tell
should-
y'all my biggest question sitting in here is, are they any different except for title? Or is it the job description? And does a certain job description go along with city managers as a normal rule?
Yeah,
That we can't, that could not be incorporated in the city administrator. I know Jerome and, would like to see the city manager's position, and that would be great, and that's great for him, and that'd be great for, his resume, but does it make any difference? And are there any differences in pay scale? You know,
Yeah.
there are a lot of subjects there that needs to come out, because if it's strictly a job description, we can write the job description however we want.
Yeah, but I don't think it's so much of a job description. I think I've had friends that were city administrators, and I got friends right now that are managers. And it's a matter of a title. They do the same job.
That's exactly, you know.
And that's in
Well, that-
reading the. I didn't see
My
the
buddy
changes.
told me, he said, Derry, he said, and he's the city manager for Kissimmee. Okay? He said, and he's been the city manager for Kissimmee like 14 years. Okay? He told me before they changed everything in Kissimmee that he was a city administrator. He did the same job.
Yeah,
And it's the same exact job. It's a matter of title, and it might be a matter of a few dollars.
yeah.
And that's-
Honestly,
that's
and
kind of
what
what
I-
that
And
document-
Space Center, to me, you know the same thing. I mean, I was a manager one day, and they said, no, you're now a director. Okay, now I'm a director.
Same job.
I did the exact same thing.
Yeah, because when they made me a manager in the firing room, I still sat there and looked at them 6 consoles.
Just
had
a
a
lead.
time-
That's the same thing you did when you was a lead, did.
Same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Same
that-
thing. And they just gave me a title and gave me $4 more on the hour. That was it.
So that one document that I had found that Jerome had given out
Right.
copies of,
Yep.
the city manager and city administrator role similarities and differences, perceptions among persons who have served as both.
Yep.
It was not a super long document,
No,
and it was fairly concise, and there are a lot of things in there that explain sort of the questions we're asking.
So this is.
So if we can't get, yeah, I mean, it's not that long, it's this long, it's the same, not much longer than the charter. But it did have a lot of good information in it. So if we really can't get someone here, I mean, the best we can do is go through a document that we've got that
Yeah.
well,
I
maybe
summarizes that.
turn around and have both Ken and Tracy both be here, and they each could, both having been city managers, you know, give their perspective. One may say, well, I did A, and the other may say I did B, or, you know, we agree on everything, we disagree, you know, whatever.
In the beginning, do you all recall the paper that Ken printed for us? In
Yeah,
the beginning, and he
Yep.
more or less said in his notes, there are several charters out there who call the person the city manager, but when you look at the duties, they
Yep.
are not typical of a professional manager. And he says, let me encourage you and the commission to focus on the duties and responsibilities of the job
Right.
rather than the title. As a
Yeah.
professional city manager, I'm far more concerned about the charter duties and responsibilities than I am about the job title. Compare the typical city manager charter requirements with the current Oak Hill charter requirements. If the commission thinks that they should change the job title, then by all means, they should propose it to the voters.
And, you know, the change we made on 6.01, we did put administrator/manager. To me, that can stay just like that in our charter review.
I agree.
And in the
I mean,
charter, it
we
defines
don't leave
both.
that words that
That
we,
would be a Scott Simpson
and that-
question.
well, not really. That would be.
You're called
the
one or
commission.
the
That's
other.
the commission making that decision. Okay?
And probably Scott telling us whether that is considered legal
Right, title.
title, legal portions of the charter. I'm sure it is, but
I'm
we
sure
probably
it
want
is
him
too.
to just,
You know, but to me, I would say, leave it there, the way we put it in this, and that way, the city administrator, or the city,
Commission
Commission.
change.
they've got the choice to make an administrator or manager. That would be totally up to them. You
I mean,
know,
it's not
at that
like
point
we've
in
given
time.
them a lot of things to consider and change.
right,
Yeah, can I make a motion?
yes.
I make a motion that we table this charter, this tentative charter until next week, hoping everybody will be here. If they're not, then we'll
Go
move
forward.
forward.
Yep, I second that.
I'll second, but before I do, I want to make sure that we contact Mr. Parker and Mr. Barlow
Right, see if they can be here.
and see if they can be here. Because once I second and we vote on it, we can't bring that up no more. I mean, so will you rescind your motion right now and go back to it in a minute?
What?
Yes.
I rescind it.
Okay, I make a motion that our city administrator get a hold of Mr. Parker and him or you and get a hold of Mr. Barlow. See if they can be at the next meeting.
And see if 3 o'clock's better for, so that
Whatever's
people
the
are
best
working
form,
is.
if 3 works, that's what I'd like to do. Because our committee, that's the best time for our committee. If not, then we can put something out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Then
But
we just go
That's a
forward
motion
with
and I'll
this.
make.
Okay,
You got a second?
second it. That's fine.
Same, all in favor?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, now go with yours. You remember?
He basically said the same
Basically
thing
said
you
like-
just did.
Yeah, he just.
Well, no,
He rescinded it, but.
yeah, but my motion is to table this until next week.
Until next week to.
I'll second.
And hope everybody, and
To make-
try to contact everybody and see if they can be here and let them know how imperative it is, because if they can't be here, we gotta move on.
Or
Yep,
if
we
they
do
have
have to.
any, if they can't be here,
If
but
they
they
can't
have
be
a
here-
comment or a condition, they
Yeah.
can
They can
refer
send
it to Jerome and
Right.
Jerome can,
But we
Share it.
we getting
Mr. Pence
close.
mentioned that, Monday meeting that he was probably going to Jamaica on Sunday.
That's where he is.
Boy, I don't think he's there, but,
He's going Saturday.
okay.
He'll be there Sunday. He's gone.
Oh, he'll be back Sunday,
No. He's leaving late Saturday.
this coming Saturday.
Yeah.
So he won't be
So
here.
he won't be
He
here.
probably won't be.
No.
He'll be gone for a week. I think he'll be gone for a week.
My son just got
I wouldn't
back.
think you'd go on Sunday to Jamaica and be right back.
Exactly.
No.
Right.
Well,
So,
that's
yeah.
like your job.
So, I mean, you know.
so we
So
know,
those
but
are motions
any
then.
comments he
So
could have.
Jerome, do we then ask Jerome to get in touch with the other members or just send it to all of us and say,
Yeah.
Just send it to
do
him.
a blank one, yeah?
And
Sounds
see,
good to
we
me.
can, and then you can reach out to Mr. Pence if he's not gonna be here and ask him, you know, what his concerns are? Write them down, or he can
He
text them
can't,
later.
but Jerome can.
Jerome can?
Jerome has to
Okay.
do all
Jerome
of
has
that.
to do it.
I send that email and, if they can be here, and if not, if they can supply me with any comments that they would like to have.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect,
That works.
Sounds good.
perfect.
Sounds like a plan.
My order
Great.
still.
Is there anything you guys want to discuss before we adjourn?
Other than rewriting the whole charter?
Miss Gary, you
Carrie.
no, but I think that we have touched every section.
Yep,
And,
I agree.
you know, we've been fair. And there's some things that we want to see changed, but I do like the fact that we can come back and look at it within 5 years, anytime, really anytime we
Six.
want to. Six, is it
I
six?
thought we
Six.
left at 10.
No,
No, it
No,
was six.
we did leave it at
Six.
10, but it
Six.
has
It
to
can
fall on an election year.
Election year, yeah. So
Yeah.
I just want to be able to, you know, come back, and if we can keep the same group to come back again, because, you know, if you put something together and something needs to be changed, then we can all, you know,
we know
hash
why we
it out.
changed it to begin with.
And we can hash it out, and we can make the correct choice of how it to be changed.
Now, where, you were saying the 6 years? 10 to 6?
I thought we left at 10, did I?
Where-
Yes,
we
we
let-
did leave it 10.
We left it at
Yeah,
10.
we
We
did
left
leave
it
it
at
at
10.
that.
I know we.
It
It
says
had
in there,
been
within 10 years, we can review it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, within.
Absolutely, it can be.
I mean, 2 years from now, we could review it
review
again
it, right.
in 2 years,
Yeah.
you know. In 2 years and 4 years, you know.
Yeah.
But that's gotta be, brought up by the commission.
Right,
We
but it
can't- I mean,
can
We
be,
can't do it.
No, but we,
No, no.
people can go before the
But
commission and say.
the
that we made-
commission
yeah.
could turn around 2 years from now, say, we want to review this or change
Well,
this or
our
whatever.
chairman can go before the
And it can
commission
be
and
4
say we need
years.
to reconvene, correct?
I think so.
Yeah,
We can always bring it back up.
we can always bring it back up.
Yeah,
There's nothing.
I mean, the biggest issue I have with the charter, and I'll put it out there, and I know y'all don't agree with me, but in my opinion, it should be a commission-based charter. And that's just, I just feel that we elect commissioners to do a job, and they should be held accountable for the job that they do. And that's, I know I'm in the minority on it, but I personally feel that is the one issue that I have. I just really truly feel it should be a commission-based, because it's the only way to make the commission responsible for the good, bad, and the ugly of city business and concerns and so on and so forth, yeah.
Well,
But shouldn't they know that already?
what's that?
But they know it, but they don't have the authority to do it.
Because it's not.
Because
charter.
it's not in the charter, the commission doesn't have the authority to do it. The only person who has the authority to do anything is Jerome. And the only way the commission, no offense, Jerome, but the only way the commission can do anything would be to fire Jerome, and that's not fair to him.
The way it's set up now, the way we're set up now, is different than it was when I was on the commission back 20-some years ago. 20-some years ago, each one of the commissioners had a department,
I understand that.
okay? That went away, and they got the city administrator. The city administrator then becomes the sole purpose, person to
Run the city.
run
the
the
city.
city.
Okay.
Okay? He runs it under the direction of the commission.
Right.
Okay, so the commission has, I mean, if they've got something they wanna do, they make policies, he enforces the policies. Okay, sort of like a cop, but what we end up having, and I didn't like, and I could tell them a little bit on Kerry, back on the last city administrator we had, and I got this, I don't know how many times, and I know Kerry did, because we're pretty much in attendance on all of them, was, I don't know unless the city administrator tells me. You know, the city, I don't know anything, let the city administrator tell me. Well, why don't you? You're the commissioner,
And that's what
you
the
know,
problem
and
is.
that's where Carrie's coming from. And I understand the same thing, because, whenever I was on commission, and I told people, I was in charge of solid waste. So if they had a problem with the garbage, they might call City Hall. City Hall called me, Charlie, you need to take care of this. I'm the one that talked to Waste Pro. I'm the one that, if they violated the contract, I'm the one that sat down and wrote the fine to them for what they had violated, you know, as a commissioner. We had a clerk at that point and not an administrator. Because we was a commission-based, group. Now, I know Ron Ingalls, whenever he was instrumental in getting rid of the police department. Okay, which I think was the worst thing in the world we ever done, but that's my opinion. You know.
I don't share your opinion on that,
Well,
but that's okay.
fine. I mean, because, and the reason I'm saying that is, I don't know, and probably nobody knows, sitting in here, can name any of the deputies that are on duty here in Oak Hill any given time.
I'll agree with you on that.
Okay? We can't,
That's on purpose.
it shouldn't be.
They do a rotation.
They do a
But
rotation.
it shouldn't be, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you right now that, citizen-based policing
And I agree with him on
is
that
the
point.
best that you can have. Period. They're the best we can have. Because citizens can help the police department solve a lot of issues. Okay? If you don't know who you're talking to, you're not gonna give you a whole lot of information. Okay? And only thing I think they needed to do, instead of getting rid of the whole police department, they should have got the right people in place. Okay? Increased the pay, got decent officers, got people in here that you could really depend on. They didn't increase the pay, and we can blame the commission on that, so we went where we're at. Well, the first thing they did to Ron and some of them, to ensure that we never got another police department in Oak Hill, they sold the cars, they sold the weapons, they sold the vest, they sold everything that had to do with the police department. Sold it, got rid of it. Well, it would take us probably somewhere around $250,000 or more just to revamp,
Yeah.
to get the stuff and put another police department in place. We can't afford that. So consequently, we're paying $700,000 a year to the sheriff's department. And did you know that out of a ticket, if they write a ticket in Oak Hill, we can only get 40% out of that ticket.
But
60% goes to the county.
But that's kind of off the explanation we were at about the commission. Can I?
but
But no, what I'm
no.
saying, if, whenever people made them choices, it's not because he was in charge of the police department. He's the one that fostered that.
Well, my point of having a commission-based government is that then Jerome comes back to the commission with, I've got this, I've got that. Do you remember the days when the con would turn around and say, okay, we've got bills to pay, and every one of the commissioners got a copy of the bills that had to be paid that week, and the commissions would say, okay, pay the bills. It went to them, they said, pay the bills, con paid the bills, okay? It was a working relationship between the city administrator, manager, whatever you want to be called, and the commission. They worked together. And that's what I want to see more, is them working together, and also responsibility falling back onto the commission to be responsible for. You want to be in that seat, you need to take responsibility. If Harry Jones picks up the phone and calls Linda Hyatt and says, I got a problem over here, we got A, B, and C. and Linda says, I can't do anything about it, you have to call the city hall. That's not right. You know, Linda should be, and I know Linda could come to Jerome and say, hey, Harry Jones called me with problem A, B, and C. What do you think? But to me, it should come back towards the commission and they say, okay, Harry came with a problem A, B, and C. What do you think we should do to fix the issue? How can we fix the issue? How can we communicate amongst each other to work as a team together to resolve an issue that may be a mountain or it may be a molehill, you know? And come to a working conclusion as a team, not as, oh, I have nothing, I can't do anything, it's all on Jerome, and it all falls on his shoulders. That's where I'm coming from. And as far as the sheriff's department goes, I disagree with you there, but I do agree with you with community policing, but that to me is a contract issue between Mike Chitwood and the city that could be worked out. I understand where Mike's coming from on rotation so that you don't, you know, get favoritism, but it's a contract issue that could be negotiated.
But I think the point that Derry made is, and I kind of see what he was saying. He's like, well, don't you think the city commission should know whether we write it down and make it clear, it's crystal clear for them in the charter? Don't you think they should already know that they are elected officials and that their job is to be in charge? And that's, and the charter really does state that. Someone sent me a picture I can show y'all. Back in 2000, there was a protest in front of City Hall, and they had a big sign, and it said, and I've got a picture of it, the city of Oak Hill is a city that needs to follow its charter. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we're back at that point right now, which is why it's important at this time to have this committee, because we need to remind the city of Oak Hill that we are a city that needs to follow our charter, that we are a charter-driven city. And whether you interpret the charter as being, oh, well, the city manager can handle everything, or whether you sit up there as one of those people and you go, it's my responsibility if Derry calls me and I'm a commissioner to go, I received this call from Mr. Cummings and this is something we need, and you need to, as a commissioner, bring it in front of there. I think what you were saying is, didn't we expect them to do that?
We expect it, but it needs to be in writing.
Yeah, but here's
Is my
the deal. I don't think it needs to be in writing, because here's the deal. If I run, there's 4 districts, right? There's 4 seats.
There's
It's
3, not
five.
just 5.
It's 5 seats.
5 seats, yeah.
Okay. Each seat is responsible for this quadrant. Correct?
No.
If we go
No.
to
We
district,
did
not
not-
now,
They're not.
no.
So,
We're not in
so
a
what-
district.
So why are we voting for someone in a particular seat that's not over a particular area?
Just in term.
That's,
We don't.
So the
officially-
seat, so really, what you guys are telling me is that seat don't mean nothing. People just voting for who they want to vote for,
right,
Yes,
and they just sitting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
correct,
you're exactly right.
correct.
We need to change something.
Well,
Well,
that was
that's what I brought
one,
up, if you remember about the districting.
Well, I'm not talking about the district.
This was where I'm-
Well, see, if you now
But that would
you
be
don't tweak you don't tweak my curiosity now, because here's the deal. If I vote for whoever, and you said the districting, then it'll go from seat to district, right?
correct, if we had district.
Okay, now. Okay, I understand now. It's because if a commissioner is over a specific district, then he can receive calls from people in his district and call Jerome to get it done. Is that what you're
Right.
basically saying?
Yeah.
It's like that now,
Well,
though. You can
and-
call
and-
any commissioner and talk to them, and
Yeah.
they can take that issue.
Yep.
Now you've got,
What you say? You can call any commissioner?
You can call any
commissioner.
commissioner,
As one.
yeah.
They cover every part of the city.
Yeah.
No matter who you talk to up there.
Yeah.
There's seats, but everyone is at large. Correct.
Correct.
Every one of them.
They're all.
So if you had a problem, let's say, and you wanted to call Linda, and
Pick up the
maybe
phone and call
Linda doesn't do anything with it, well, then you can call Joe, or you can call Steve, or you could call Bill,
Or you can
Or you
call
call
the
the
mayor.
or you could call the mayor, but realistically,
Well,
the mayor is kind of by himself.
Yes and no.
He's sort of a symbol by himself, even though he's equal as far as being able to vote and do anything. He's no, quote, better than any of the commissioners. By virtue of being the mayor, it kind of
It's a
puts him
figurehead.
in a,
He's the head.
He's
So I'm
literally-
calling the
he's,
head.
he's the
literally
head,
just-
so.
I'm calling the
He's a-
head.
right.
He's a figurehead.
I would say if
I'm
you
calling
if,
the
you-
head.
if you had called every commissioner and not gotten
And
the
not
answer
got
you
a
wanted, then you
response,
call-
I
then you
ain't,
call the
I ain't
figurehead.
waiting on them. I'm calling the head.
There you go. See,
And then each
but that's
person.
the idea.
I'm either gonna call the head or I'm gonna call Jerome.
But that is the idea.
Because I ain't gonna
behind-
want nobody hee-hawing me about,
Oh,
No.
I'll get to it.
no, no. I'm going straight to
Right.
the TOP.
And
And you have it right.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and as a citizen,
So
you
I
have
understand what you saying about the districting, and I understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
They should be held accountable. And, you know, the districting is gonna come.
eventually.
It's gonna come.
It
And
will,
we
especially as
understand
the
that,
city
but-
grows.
It's gonna
It
come.
will.
It's gonna come. As soon, I can tell you right now, as soon as we hit 5,000 people, it's gonna come.
Sure. I mean, you
And
have
along
a,
your lines, okay, the problem is people vote, they don't think when they vote for somebody, they're voting, it's a popularity contest.
Exactly. They're not
Okay,
voting
it's not, can they really
do the job. Right.
Okay.
And can they make the right decision?
Okay, and you have some that come in that I can almost guarantee you, Jerome probably puts the, agendas and all that and sends them their agenda packets probably on Thursday of the week before. I can almost guarantee you we have commissioners that don't look at the agenda package until an hour before they walk in here and sit down at the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, that you can't fix
With the charter.
no, you can't unless you change it to, commission based.
Right.
Yeah, and then you still can't
You
fix
still
it.
can't fix it.
Right.
You
because
can't
it's up
fix
to
it.
Somebody that don't
Don't.
have the will
to
to
Or
do the job.
to do the job.
That's right.
I mean, it's just like, when I volunteered to do this, I let y'all know upfront that I wouldn't be here, there's gonna be a couple of weeks I wouldn't be here. I wanted y'all to know that before we ever got started. Because I knew I was in bed myself, I studied this thing, it's sitting by my chair, and I'll be reading it again tonight. You know, but you can't make people do their daggone job.
No,
Because
You
you can't,
the only way to,
recall, you can recall or get the, governor to kick them out. That's the only way you get rid of them, or when you have another election,
yeah. And the
okay?
governor ain't gonna kick them out unless they are a felon.
That's right.
And they've done something legally wrong that he has the right to say, sorry, you're a convicted felon. You know, like he
But
did
you can
with,
get enough
what's her
signatures.
name over in
In
Orlando.
Orlando? Yeah, but you can get
Yeah.
enough signatures.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
can do it by petition.
I know we're just spitballing right now.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
are.
we're-
There's no subject that.
They call it BS.
Yes, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
and believe me, I'm free to listen to everyone as much as you guys want to talk, but if there's nothing that's going to help this charter review
We need to-
process, then
We
we
need
can adjourn.
Adjourn.
And we can,
Yep.
you know,
Before you adjourn, what's your items for next agenda besides Ken Parker and Tracy Barlow?
well, we can, have those have them come. We can also, like I said, reach out to our members and try to confirm that they will make our next charter review meeting. And we can have them as a guest talking to educate us on any questions or.
Review the current,
But then the last part of
Revisions.
that was reviewing the section on the city administrator manager after we hear from those guys,
Of
right?
course.
yeah,
Yes.
and that
So we'll
would,
be reviewing that and then
Yep,
deciding,
we're doing 6 on.
just 6, that's all.
the following meeting.
And just review the revised charter.
Yeah,
period.
review what were the changes that we've already
We
made.
made.
So
Just-
review the revised charter after meeting with.
And make any suggestions if they're not gonna be here. I can't be here because I'm out of town,
Yeah,
then
Then we
here's
just go with
my,
it, and if 5 people are here, 5
recommendations
people
or
are here. I mean,
whatever.
that's-
But what they need to do is they need, if they can't, any changes that they have, they need to
has
go
it,
to Jerome.
exactly, they need to send it to Jerome.
Right. Yep. If they
Yeah.
won't Be here.
Yeah,
All right,
just ask them to review it
And
and,
you made the motion
that.
to table it, right?
Yes, sir.
I second it.
Yes, sir.
We're all in favor.
okay, I guess.
Yes.
What are we
Yeah.
tabling?
We're done.
You made the motion to adjourn?
I thought you were.
He said table, he said, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Okay,
All in
done.
favor? All right.
Oh, that was a quick meeting.